Hey there, everybody. Well, I hope that you all have been doing really well. Before I get into the review here on this pen, I want to first give a quick, brief little update. I know I'm behind. I noticed I'm behind about 10 days of comments. I just checked my studio a little bit ago, and I need to get back to them on that. I had some questions asked about a specific model of Hoovers that I have, so I'm really sorry I didn't get to that. It's been a extremely tough week for me. I ended up we had to make up 3 assignments, one of which was a presentation for class, and then we also, on top of that, took the test 2 in history, well, government class up on top of that. So I apologize if I'm like scatterbrained right now. It's 3 in the morning, but I wanted to do that, and I really wanted to talk about this pen all week, and I didn't just get done with my assignments until like 2 o'clock this morning. So yeah, so tough time, but but you all deserve you all deserve to know what's been going on, and I'm not ignoring that. I need to, because I want to go back and actually physically check those vacuums to see if that's the answer I want to give them. But anyway, so an interesting pen I want to talk about this week, because I've been wanting to try it since it was released. So this is the Sailor Tuzu Adjust, and it was released, I made a little note here. So Sailor released it in April this year, but the US release wasn't until June. And another thing I wasn't aware of, I decided to check a few things of other people's reviews on here, and interestingly enough, there's a difference in the packaging, because someone had ordered it from Goulet in the video, Goulet Pen Company, and they ordered it from there, and it was in like a flat box, where like a plastic carrying case for it, just like a regular, the plastic packaging that's usually like tough to open. But interestingly enough, how I got mine, and I was going to tell you that, was I was able to find the lowest price for the nib that I wanted. I mean, the nib size, I believe they only do it in a fine, medium, and broad, but because Sailor is a Asian company, you can basically go by, what you prefer in a Western nib, and then you want to make one step lower, in a finer direction. That's what you would get with them. So I went with the broad nib, and anyway, so pretty much I decided to write down kind of what the prices you'd expect on it. The MSRP from them was $55, but however, so Goulet pens, I think they still are doing it at the price of $39.50 US, and then second best price, which is the price that I went with when I got mine, you could get it on Amazon for about $38.80, and that's what I paid for mine. And also, there's, on some of the nib sizes and colors on Amazon, they're doing a 10% off coupon, and it's for so on Amazon they have I've just got the black model, and on Amazon they've got a mint model, mint color, with a fine nib, and that one is going for just $33.12. I don't know if that coupon is still valid, but that's just to know. I think that so far the best prices out there is Amazon and Goulet Pen Company, but obviously, it's probably worth the extra bit to spend at Goulet Pen Company, because or, sorry, because you're supporting a actual pen company, you know what I mean, and I love all the videos that they do, and they've just always been a good company. And side note, they actually wrote me a letter, and that like made my year. I wish I could find it. It's in my junk here somewhere. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent, but that's basically the synopsis of, like, if you are interested in purchasing it. And I've been using it all week, and honestly, I'm actually been extremely impressed with this. I'm more impressed than I thought I'd be, actually. I was normally a Lamy Safari guy for a long time. Still kind of, and it's still a model. I mean, I still enjoy that pen. But my friend and I, buddy at school, he carries around a fine nib version of Lamy All-Star, which that's basically it. I mean, you know, the Safari's based on that, and we compared it to this one from Sailor, the Tuzu, and actually, I don't know if it's just because mine's a broad nib, maybe that's what it is, but we actually found this to be more comfortable and smoother than that one. However, I still think that the Lamy with the broad nib was super smooth, so it's not there, but it's smoother. And the part about that packaging that I mentioned is that then when you get on Amazon, you actually get the Japanese box, which is interesting. Which it's like a folded envelope almost. So it was on this little card and in your direction. And there's just a lot of really interesting innovations they made on this. And I mean, obviously how it rots is the most important, which it does very well. It's the first inexpensive pen that, well, in the scheme of pen process, that Sailor did, and I've been very happy with it. And the other thing that makes it so nice is that it comes with the converter, and I mean, you could even get the $80, is it 80? I don't know, but it's whatever that revamped version of the Parker 51, and you don't even get a converter with that, even if you are paying that much, you know. So I think it's great that this has a converter, and I don't think the Lamy Safaris and All-Stars and all them come with the converter, so I think that's a huge plus. But the thing that makes it different, and that you probably already are aware of, so what you would do to adjust your not your nib, but your grip section, because it does have, it's beveled out a little bit, sort of like a Lamy Safari, but you would keep going to the left with the ring. Now be careful, because that ring does come off. I've already done that. And you can move it to there's different little facets that this can slide into. And so when you find what spot is comfortable for you, and it could even be flip the whole thing around, you know, that's about right, and you would put it right there. And I think that what I learned too is it's 70% recycled plastic, I believe, which is really good, and it feels very solid. I don't think that it's, I don't know durability wise if it's going to be any more than, I think that Lamys are ABS plastic, but I may be wrong. But anyway, but it feels really solid. I don't know. I'm tempted to recommend it to people over the Safari, but I'm not gonna do that all the time, because then again you have the Western style nib of the Safari. So I guess it would be a question of, I would ask them, you know, would you prefer a wider nib, a wider, smoother nib? But this broad has not been bad at all. I've actually been very happy with it. I can't sing the praises enough of this pen, actually. So I think that's almost it. There's not much on, like, parts of the pen, except for the section like I just shown you. And it's and it just has just only the brand is right here of Sailor. And I think the only other thing I'm going to point out is a feature that I just recently learned is, okay, you can kind of see it. So the nib, instead of there's kind of two features before I move to writing with it, is that the hole is not actually a real breather hole on this pen. It's actually a filler hole, so that you can, for filling, you can just dip it up to that hole and it can fill from that, and then you end up not having to wipe the pen very much. But unfortunately with me and the huge bottle of ink I have, it's a 50 milliliter bottle that I've got right now, I end up having to dip it in there anyway. But this would be an incredible pen if you're like sampling ink, because you could just do that, fill with that spot there, and then you can just flush it with a bulb syringe in between, and it would be perfect. Also, a little side note is that the water, when you go to flush this with the syringe, the water tends to want to like spray like up, so just beware of that, because since it's not a breather hole, it just like starts spraying everywhere. So you keep it in the sink. I already sprayed it all over the side when I used it, but anyway, until I learned that, I should have learned that before. But yeah, and what else? Let's see, I've covered that. And apparently the nib and feed can be removed on this, which, you know, I don't think that the Lamies can't, so this is kind of a nice extra feature on there. I haven't done that yet, but if you were needing to, if it was like really, like you left the pen a long time, but this one's it tends to write good nearly all the time, so, but yeah, so I think that's pretty much it for what I have to say, and I'll come back and write with it, and show you that, and I think that's pretty much it for the talking. So I will see you, and I'll try to get back at all your comments, because like I said, way too busy, but I will try to answer. So I'll see you in a second for writing. Okay guys, so we're going to do our writing sample with the Sailor Tuzu, and Sailor Tuzu. This is a broad nib, and the ink is Waterman Intense Black. It's been really reliable ink for me. I have this inked up in another pen as well at the moment. I just find it to be like a really great ink. It's really good doing my schoolwork with. And it feels really good. It's maybe there's a slight bit of tooth to it, but it's quite smooth. Like I said, I've been really happy with it. That was me there. It didn't skip. That's just me picking it up a little bit because this sleeve here. But anyway. So yeah, and so it feels really good, and the flow, it's not too dry, not too wet. It's very good. And then you're not going to get any flex out of this. It's just a steel nib, so I'm not going to try to push it. And the tip is pretty well rounded, so it's not got a ton of like line variation, but again, it's more of a daily writing pen, and like I said, it does that job really well. So, and then I'll just see how that does, if it will do. In regards to reverse, that's actually one of the better ones I've used in reverse, so it seems to be just a really well-rounded nib then. Because that's actually not scratchy or anything, even reverse. That's kind of shocking for me. But yeah, so kind of short handwriting there, but anyway, thank you guys, and I will see you hopefully soon, and I hope that you guys have a good one.